Healing with Human Connection, where we have encouraging conversations about tough topics such as substance abuse, drug addiction, and mental health issues for those in the Northwest Indiana area. Our hope is to share information that will guide you to resources that can help you change your life so that you can live the life you were meant to live. Check out our website, www.healingwithconnection.com, to find a full transcript of today's conversation, along with a list of any resources or links mentioned in this episode. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Healing with Human Connections. I'm Jeanne Cannon. I'm a therapist and life coach. I see clients online and in person here at our office. We have Miss Lisa Scheller. Lisa is an author and a healing recovery coach. And so excited to have Kristi Chervenak, who is joining us today as a guest. Kristi, we're so excited to have you
Thank you guys
today.
for having me.
We thank you for making the jaunt from Valpo. And our goal, of course, with Healing with Human Connection is to bring you information on all kinds of recovery, both physical, emotional, spiritual, and particularly with substance abuse. And Kristi is a wealth of information, both personally and professionally with her work. So we'll be talking to Kristi about all the information she'll be sharing with you today. We also want to say thank you to Megan, who is our tech person behind the scenes who makes this all possible. So thank you again, Megan. But Lisa, before we begin, I think you had a few things you wanted to talk about before we begin with Kristi.
Yeah, so it's really excited to have Kristi here today, and we just really want to get the message out to the community in regards to substance abuse and mental illness, and let people know that we hear you, we know it's out there, and we want to be resources to you. We mentioned this on one of our previous episodes, but my husband and I put a book together, and it's called From Fear to Faith, A Family Journey with Addiction, Recovery, and Grace. It just talks about our family history, having an addict in our family, and how we moved through the process. What did that look like, and how there is hope to come out on the other side. So, we just want to give families hope, and family, friends, and the community that it is possible. I mean, recovery is possible. It's just giving those resources and, really learning a different way of looking at things. So. Right. Yeah, we're excited about that.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. And of course, recovery not only for the person struggling with any kind of substances, but recovery for the family. And
exactly.
Lisa does a fabulous job. And of course, Kristi's going to talk to us a little bit about that today. Thank you, Lisa. So Kristi, to get started, you're the coordinator for Recovery Connection.
Yes.
Which is a community recovery center in Valpo.
Yes.
So before we talk about that, maybe you can tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Kristi Chervenak, and I have been with PACT Recovery Connection for a little over 2 years. I have been with the Porter County Coroner's Office as a deputy coroner for a little over 7 years.
Wow.
And I have 3 beautiful girls and an awesome husband, and we live in Washington Township. Helping people is my life.
Oh my gosh. It's been a delight to sit and visit with you prior to this, and I'm sure you do fabulous work in helping people. Why don't you tell us then a little bit about Recovery Connection and what that's all about?
Sure. So Recovery Connection is located in the heart of Valparaiso. We're right downtown at 505 Don Hovey Drive. We provide recovery support groups for individuals struggling with substance use disorder. We provide recovery support for individuals involved in PACT court programming.
So can you tell us what PACT is?
Sure. PACT is a program in Valpo as well. PACT provides court services for individuals in drug court, restoration court, veterans treatment court, and they also provide groups for individuals, the victim impact panel, so many different programs.
That's good.
We provide the recovery support side. Individuals who come into Recovery Connection are provided support at no cost on a walk-in basis.
Okay, can I interrupt?
Sure.
So did everyone hear that? At no cost.
Yes.
So Recovery Connections can be at no cost, and anyone can come in. You don't have to go through the courts.
You do not have to go through the courts.
Great,
no.
Thank you.
And we provide peer recovery coaching. We have some amazing recovery coaches at Recovery Connection, and we have Smart Recovery. We host AA and NA multiple times a week. We have recovery navigation, which I do and we provide intake and a recovery capital assessment, and it helps us look and see where we can fix the building blocks so that you have a strong recovery foundation.
Yes.
And we also have family support groups. So we have CRAFT Family Support Group, which is Community Reinforcement and Family Training. And we have SMART Recovery Circle of Support. And all of these meetings can be found on our website, is recoveryconnectionpc.org, under the calendar tab.
So what I hear you saying really, Kristi, is oftentimes people ask, oh, I'm wondering if I have a problem, or I have a loved one and this is their situation. Do they have a problem? The idea is you don't have to diagnose yourself. Just come and see you.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
So we get phone calls all the time. We get phone calls from loved ones, and we get phone calls from individuals who are really struggling. And our goal is to at least talk with you about the services we provide. If you don't feel comfortable in person, we can talk on the phone. If you don't feel comfortable being in a group setting in person, we have the ability to join meetings online. So you don't have to be there. A lot of individuals have that anxiety about being in a group setting or just don't want their face to be seen yet.
Just like Jeanne had mentioned, do I have a problem? Or does my loved one have a problem? Just being able to come to a place that there's no judgment.
Sure.
You know, it's open door. They don't want people to know that they're there. But a lot of times if somebody knows you're there, then obviously they're there for the same reason. And they could be a support to you. But no judgment. And I think that's the biggest thing when people are facing addiction or facing some mental illness, that they already feel shame or guilt. But we want them to know there's help.
Yes. And I try to tell all of our clients, we are your biggest cheerleader. I am going to be cheering someone on the whole way. And if there's a level of support needed that we cannot provide, I will connect anyone to the resources they need, whether that's inpatient treatment, which is something that we do quite often. And I have so many connections at so many different facilities. I can connect an individual to those resources. There's so many different facets that we cover that a lot of people don't know where to go. You know?
What would you say, Kristi, for someone listening who is afraid, as Lisa said, afraid because of judgment? What are the other reasons people don't reach out, would you say, generally? And what would you say to them?
I think one of the biggest reasons that, and it's the number one thing that I have on my dream board in my office, a lot of people didn't know that Recovery Connection existed. And, you know, family members, for instance, just did a Google search and they found Recovery Connection and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that this was here. So I think that's number one. Number two is cost.
Yes.
I think that a lot of individuals have in their mind that getting any kind of treatment or support is going to cost them.
Yes.
So we're removing the biggest barrier for anyone. And for instance, if they don't have insurance coverage, we can connect them to a resource that can get them, you know, the quick enroll with insurance, whether they can get state insurance or any level of insurance. So again, I think not knowing that there are resources out there and then having that cost barrier removed are the two biggest things that we're seeing.
So not knowing that there are services, and all different types of services.
All different types of services.
Someone might want treatment, inpatient, outpatient. Someone might want just AA or NA. Someone might want something different through their church, through this, through that. Start to read about it. There's all different steps to the journey, I guess, to say.
Absolutely.
If someone's listening and they have a loved one who has a problem, who doesn't want help, what do you say to them?
I would say if your loved one doesn't want help, at least get help for yourself. At least come to family support groups and have that feeling like you are being heard. And in CRAFT, for instance, CRAFT is teaching you how to have a better communication, understanding addiction, understanding the mindset and how you can take care of yourself and also take care of your loved one through that process.
Oh my gosh, can we repeat that again? Having the situation personally in our family, when we, as a loved one of someone who's struggling with any kind of addiction, Lisa, I know you know this, it's important for us to understand the issue and our role and what we can do that's a healthy reaction to that person and what we do that might be not so healthy.
Sure.
And that helps us and helps the family member. That's what you're saying, Kristi?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I took from going through CRAFT facilitator training and being an individual who has had family members who struggle with substance use disorder is that it's okay to set boundaries.
Yes.
It is okay to protect yourself.
Wow.
And learning that you can create your own boundaries and set those is huge. And I had to do that in my personal life. Mm-hmm. And so knowing how to do that in a positive way and not a offensive way is huge. So yeah, I would definitely recommend CRAFT and even Circle of Support. You're again learning the I statements and learning things like that help you create those good boundaries and healthy boundaries.
And I think that's so important because I think when you are a family member or a friend of somebody who has an addiction, as I, went through in our family, I think you feel alone yourself. Like, this isn't happening.
Absolutely.
How do I control it? And I've mentioned this before on Here's When I went to a meeting, and it was like that night I heard, you can't control it, you can't cure it, you didn't cause it, but you can contribute. And I'm like, okay, I am his number one contributor to the issue, So instead of trying to do all these things, trying to cure it for him or trying to control him from not doing it or thinking that I caused it, I needed to figure out what I was doing to contribute. And that comes down to enabling. Yes. So I had to learn different mindset in my mind on how to deal with myself, the girls, and then he had to go on his own for his own recovery.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, are you saying, Lisa, when you say you can't control it and all those things, but you can contribute in a negative way?
Absolutely.
In other words, sometimes our behavior as a loved one can be negative.
Absolutely. And
when
it triggers us to, we're angry at them or we're mad at them. We're mad at
or scared
or like, how could you be doing this to, all those negative, like you said, and we just want it to go away. We want the problem to go away. We want this person to get fixed and go away, not realizing that this is a journey and that's not a destination and that this is a process for everybody as the recovery, as the addict has to recover and work on their recovery. We all kind of got into this crazy world, and we all need to be able to figure out where our part is in that and then how we're going to move on in a healthy way so that they can recover and we can recover because it's a family disease.
Right.
And
as your book says,
yes,
it is a family disease.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. I mean, that is so exciting. So if someone's listening, Kristi, how do they get in touch with you and or your organization?
Sure. So if someone needs to contact me, they can call. My direct number is 219-510-6319. Our office number is 219-510-6501. And we will connect them with whatever resources they need.
And no obligation. In other words, when you call Kristi or call Recovery Connections, there's no obligation. You can just hear what they have to say and maybe even go online. You said Recovery Connections.
RecoveryConnectionPC.org.
PC.org.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to find out a little bit about some of the programs, but I think it's really, to see something online and then to talk to someone like Kristi and really get your individual needs met or fears, initial fears, could be much more powerful than just looking online. But if you want to look online, that's great.
Yes.
Knowing some of the recovery coaches that you have, my husband Hans is a recovery coach. He's been there for 2 years, and I just want to say, you do a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
With the people that come in and getting them on track. And being consistent with meeting with them on a weekly basis to touch base with them. And they have somebody that knows that they care. And if they're having a legal problem or they're having some child protection problem or what have you, that they can, like exactly what you said, maneuver them to where they need to go for that. And that you're all connected because you know people at the probation office or you know people who are at the, wherever, if they need an attorney or what have you. So what I really appreciate is how Recovery Connection is a hub. It's a one-stop call.
Yeah.
You just call them and somebody will direct you. We didn't have that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like pulling teeth, like yellow pages, and just figuring out where do you go, where do you get the help, who's going to help us, and, do you trust them? So,
yeah, it definitely kind of, it removes the barrier, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just getting out there more and letting people know that we're here has been insane. Just through COVID, through everyone struggling with substance use disorder, we have seen such a huge growth, but in a good way, because our recovery coaches are seeing more clients than ever, and we know that we're helping.
yes.
And we know that people are being directed to us from all other organizations. So that's been really big.
Yeah. And how long has Recovery Connections been in Valparaiso?
So Recovery Connection was established around 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yes.
So it's been around for a while, but now it's finally coming to where, again, breaking the stigma. It's okay to call us.
Yes.
And we're, we have these resources.
Yes, it has definitely grown in a positive way.
Yes.
And we were named a recovery hub through Indiana Recovery Network in 2020, going into 2021. And the resources and the growth that has brought us has been amazing.
Yes.
The resources we're able to provide to individuals has been just awesome. And the things that Indiana Recovery Network and the Mental Health Association of Indiana and DMHA is doing for our state and recovery and removing the stigma and connection to resources and peer recovery coaching and all these things that they're bringing to us, it is amazing.
Yes.
I never would have thought 2 years ago that the recovery support would be there.
Right. And I've heard so much about that where, you are in different communities and you hear people talking about, and this is like the number one thing they're talking about, mental health recovery. How can we get the people the help that they need, And so, especially with Jeanne, who's a therapist who understand, you go to somebody and you want them to be where they are, and that they can relate to you. And Stacey, who's not with us today, with her therapy program too, is trauma therapy. So, it's out there, and we want people to know that we are there to provide services.
Definitely.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, what a delight. Thank you so much, really, Kristi. And Lisa, thank you.
Yes.
Megan,
Thank you, Jeanne.
You're so welcome. I do want to say, lastly, from my perspective, is for the average person listening, the fear of reaching out is sometimes a trust issue, and how good is this organization or not good. But and having worked for a lot of different treatment centers and here, Chicago, Recovery Connections to be around since 2014, and then they have the state connection, as you say, the network, that means you have a lot of integrity.
Yes.
And with integrity comes trust. So our wish for all of you is, if you're listening and you're stuck or someone you love is stuck, please reach out to Kristi or Lisa.
Right.
And Lisa is in this line of work, so to speak, too, and as a therapist myself, too. But with regard to substance abuse, please reach out and call or email or begin to read about, because it can change your life and someone else's.
I just think, collaborating, people coming together, partnering on this, and just knowing that everybody's here to help individuals and families.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day. Be very kind to yourself. It starts with compassion for yourself that empowers you to reach out for help. So be kind to yourself and have a great day. Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, let us know by leaving a comment or review and sharing with a friend. All resources mentioned today and a full transcript of this episode can be found by going to our website, www.healingwithconnection.com. A video of this recording can be found on our YouTube channel, and the audio podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Healing with Connection is a collaborative project created by Lisa Scheller, Jeanne and Stacey Garcelon, produced and edited by Megan Swartz.